We don't do it for the name that's on the back. We just do it for the logo on the front. All that clout chasing, we don't run with that. We just put the whole squad on the hunt, yeah. Yeah, we bleed for the shield, never for the self. True success ain't the trophy on the shelf. It's the logo on the front, not the name on the back. Yeah, we stay on attack.
I'm Dr. Cassie Preston. My job as a mental performance coach is to help elite athletes, just like you, to consistently perform at your capabilities. But in order to do that, you need to reliably get in the zone. The problem is, like most athletes, you spend too much time in your own head, worrying, overthinking, and are doubting yourself. This can be frustrating and discouraging because you've put in all this work to develop your physical abilities. Your mindset is causing you to underperform. Now, I understand that working on your mindset can be difficult and confusing. There's so much cliche advice out there like, don't worry about it and just be positive, which might be the mental state you want to achieve, but it's not the how-to. In fact, this fluffy cookie cutter advice often makes things worse. Instead, what you need to do is challenge the status quo and think differently about success and failure. That's why I wrote the best-selling book, Mindset First, to provide athletes like you a repeat and reliable way to win the mental game. I share the concise and practical strategies I use to help professional athletes be at their best day in and day out. This book will help you break free from the weight of results so you can stop spending so much time in your own head and start playing with confidence so you can perform when it matters most. And most importantly, I promise you this, by reading this book and working on your mental game, you're going to have a heck of a lot more fun along the way.
We don't do it for the name that's on the back. We just do it for the logo on the front. All that clout chasing, we don't run with that. We just put the whole squad on the hunt, yeah. Yeah, we bleed for the shield, never for the self. True success ain't the trophy on the shelf. It's the logo on the front, not the name on the back. Yeah, we stay on attack.
The world is watching as we welcome you inside the Sportsplex Pierrefonds in Montreal, Quebec, and welcome to the 2026 Continental Clash World Championship game on the World Sports Broadcasting Network. Good morning, everyone. Thomas Mercy here with you for the ultimate showdown for world bragging rights as the Manitoba All-Stars take on the Minnesota Machine of the United States. Manitoba with a thrilling late win in their game against First Class Alberta, who have just won the bronze medal, while the Minnesota Machine picked up a narrow win over the Montreal Kings Academy. They fell in the bronze medal match just mere moments ago, and now it is time to crown a new world champion as the Manitoba All-Stars playing the underdog role, the number 4 seed coming into this game, while Minnesota also finishing as a low seed, but they will be the home team for this game. Just waiting on them to come into the rink. Hello everyone, Thomas Mercier here with you as we are just moments away from the puck drop between the All-Stars and the Machine. It's been a fantastic tournament for every team, including these two that play in the final game here today. We're expecting a large crowd on hand to take in this one. Already seeing people from Sweden and Finland coming into the rink. This is it. This is the matchup that everybody was hoping for. This is the matchup that we are getting. Manitoba has been the underdog, but so dominant throughout the tournament, only losing one time in play, having the best defense in the tournament and probably the best goaltending. Hayden Penner has been absolutely outstanding for Manitoba. While on the Minnesota side of things, they have been forefronted by the impressive Mason Thang who continues to lead the team in goals coming into the tournament and into this game here today. Mason Thane has been absolutely incredible in play. As you see, the Manitoba All-Stars team currently warming up as we speak again, waiting for the Minnesota Machine, who are making their way out onto the ice. And listen to that ovation. Minnesota and Manitoba out in full force as the world awaits its champion here this morning in Pierrefonds. We'll step out for a break. When we come back, we will crown a world champion. It's Manitoba and Minnesota on the World Sports Broadcasting Network.
Yeah. We don't do it for the name that's on the back. We just do it for the logo on the front. All that clout chasing, we don't run with that. We just put the whole squad on the hunt. Yeah, we bleed for the shield, never for the self. True success ain't the trophy on the shelf. It's the logo on the front, not the name on the back. Yeah, we stay on attack.
Back at the Pierrefonds Sportsplex in Quebec as warm-ups just getting underway between Minnesota and Manitoba. A great turnout already here on hand. Again, we were initially supposed to play on ice pad number 4, but due to the heavy rainfall and the thunderstorms, we have transitioned into rink 3, where Cass and Lucas have taken you through the day. And now it is my esteemed pleasure to bring you the gold medal matchup between Manitoba and Minnesota. There you see the Minnesota Machine in their signature orange with black equipment. They will serve as the home team, finishing as the higher seed in playoff action. Well, Manitoba, as I mentioned, the underdogs coming into this game, but that is not a fair statement because they are an absolute powerhouse. Throughout tournament play, Manitoba has maintained the best defense coming into the playoffs. Just 24 goals allowed, 53-4 through a round robin and 1 playoff contest. They have won 8 in a row coming into this game. So they lost their opener. Since then, they have been on an undefeated tear, while Minnesota has only lost once in play as well, having won their last 2. They won their closing game, they won their playoff matchup, and now they find themselves in the championship game as the State of Hockey in Minnesota looking for a second straight Continental Clash title here this morning at Pierrefonds Sportsplex. Warm-ups just about to conclude here as we get ready and buckled in for this championship contest. And we got more great hockey coming this week. The Quench Hydration World Invite in Toronto kicks off on Wednesday from the Scotiabank Pond in North York. We're excited to have the coverage for you as the world's best from the boys and women's across the world will meet in the 6th for what is sure to be a fantastic world invite. But first, we figure out a world champion. Both coaches giving their last bits of advice to both clubs. Manitoba in blue with red shoulder, and Minnesota in the signature orange. The officials are ready. The players are ready. We are ready. But the question is, are you ready to witness the world stage? All eyes on the championship with the Golden Skate on the line. It's time to crown a new world champion. Mason Thang, Carter Clifford, the gold medal game is underway from Quebec. Fired off the wall, collected by Louis Sweeney. Sweeney, good pass to the line. Mason Thang, the leading goal scorer. His shot just deflected. And here goes Manitoba on the counter. Centering pass. Willem Heshka into the zone. Across. Shot from Beckett Fair is blocked. Expect a high-intensity game here this morning. Glad to have you with us wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Manitoba, Minnesota, or across the globe. Glad you are spending your Sunday morning with us, the final game of this fantastic tournament. Maverick White around the boards, throws to the line. To the net, Seeger Patton shot. Stopped by Hayden Penner, the starting goaltender for Manitoba. Here's Carter Clifford with a centering pass. Looking for Fair, his shot blocked. Tanner Brick, the backup to start Asa Olsted Volk, gets the nod for Minnesota. Braden Liu firing it in as we're more than a minute in. A fantastic crowd on hand to take in this one. Along the line, Decker Benjamin out into the corner. Around the boards, Wedderbrand for Benjamin. Benjamin around the boards, picked off, trying to clear his Weltman. Wedderbrand tied up with Woodmass, now picked up behind the goal. Decker Benjamin in the corner. Benjamin taken into the wall. And now, here comes Manitoba, 2-on-1. It's Marks Boguski. Boguski, glove save! Olstad Volk! And the first big save of the game for Minnesota. Around the boards. Plate to center for Decker Benjamin. Benjamin will fire it in. Picked up behind the net by Colton Thompson. 12:40 to go in this opening period. Boguski gains the line, fires it in wide. Harrison Guth clearing it back to center. Clifford regrouping, nearly dangerous pass. Mason Thang. Speeding up the left wing is Thang. Thang into the zone, nearly got tripped. Thang, a man on his feet, to the line, but Hellquist can't hold it in. Sent back down into the Minnesota zone. Braden Liu. Around the boards, turned over. Heshka looking out in front. Picked up by Carter Clifford to the line for Brown. Weston Brown across for Thompson. Thompson trying to fire, blocked by Thang and out of the zone. Thang picked it up, 2-on-1 Minnesota. Thang with Guth, Thang just missing. Carter Clifford mishandled. Recollected by Manitoba. Across the line, Unrau for Heshka, just missed. Thompson holding the line. Sent behind the net. Louis Sweeney. Stripped by Heshka. But Sweeney with a good recovery. Around the wall, turnover. Beckett Fair. For Wellman, sending it deep. Still have not had a stoppage here in the first. Great back and forth. Through the middle, Maverick White. White. Picked off. Marks Boguski. Boguski the other way for Manitoba. He'll shoot. Olstad Volk the save. It bounces in front. Spinning. Save. Rebound. Rebound again. That goes wide. Zach Silva unable to clear. Woodmass fan on the shot. What pace to start off And our first stoppage of the game comes for 29 in. First face-off coming to the left of Asta Ulstad Volk. And the face-off won by Manitoba, but Minnesota gets it back. Zach Silva trying to drop it off. Ryan Renner to the right-hand wall. Matejchuk across for Waltman. Waltman up the right wing. On the boards, Weltman able to recollect for Manitoba. Third of the way through the period already. Fast-paced action here in the first, but we remain scoreless. Willem Heshka for Carter Clifford. Heshka in the corner, spun around. Comes along the wall. Cleared out by Minnesota. Mace Wedderbrand will dump it in and complete a change for the machine. Willem Heshka on the left wing. Across for Madison Unrau. Unrau for Clifford. Clifford around the back of the cage. Clifford waiting for men from the line. It's Matejchuk in support. Picked up by Mason Thane. Minnesota the other way. Thane up the right wing. Thane curl and toe drag. Glove save by Reed Keeping, who is the starter today for Manitoba. Initially thought it was Hayden Penner, but it is Reed Keeping. Arguably the best goaltending tandem in this tournament. The face-off won by Minnesota. Louis Sweeney playing it back in deep. Around the boards. Manitoba looking to move out. Unrau, centering pass. Finds Woodmass along with Boguski. Boguski long range shot kicked away by Ulstad Volk. Boguski. Turnover in the middle. Unrau to the line. Here's Colton Thompson. Saved by Ulstad Volk. Back to the line. It's Brown. For Woodmass who redirects it wide. Unrau. Boguski looking out in front. Moved out by the machine. Potential 3-on-2. Seeger Patton will flip it in. Minnesota needs a change. Here's Boguski. Nice cross pass for Fair. Fair shooting. Nice blocker save by Ulstad Volk. On the back of the net, Seeger Patton. Again, Minnesota can't clear. Thompson floated towards the net. Trickles wide. Around the boards. Willem Heshka holding it in. Falling shot. And falling on top of it is Asa Ulstad Volk. 7:59 left in the first period. It's the gold medal game. Floated towards the net after a Minnesota faceoff win. They'll do it again. A fantastic tournament that has all come down to this. Carter Clifford asked to step out. So in comes Beckett Fair. He will not win the faceoff. Around the wall, Braden Liu. On the right wing side. Good pass by Charles Kelly. Maverick White. He'll shoot, blockered away by Reed Keeping. Kelly back behind the net. Matejchuk. Around the boards. Picked up by Clifford. 7.5 to go. We're halfway through the opening period already. Heshka into the zone for Manitoba. Heshka trying to get some support from Clifford. Cleared out by the machine. Brown throws it across. Thompson's there. Thompson up the middle. Bad pass picked off by Kelly. Kelly by himself. Kelly waiting for support, spinning. Blocked by Weston Brown. Willem Heshka through the middle. Beckett Fair. Out his pocket pick. Nice play by Mace Wedderbrand to dump it in. losing the battle to Weston Brown. It's around the wall into the corner for Decker Benjamin. Benjamin tied up behind the net. Wedderbrand trying to help. Brown falls. Going to the line. Here's Renner with a shot deflected off Heshka, and it goes skyward. Brown Boda trying to clear, but couldn't. Shot from way out. Keeping will hold. .6:22 left in the first. And we await our first goal of the gold medal game. Face off to the right of keeping is won by Minnesota. Dangerous collision in the corner. And our first penalty of the game, a boarding call on Colton Matejchuk. And the Minnesota Machine will head to the game's first power play. Boarding on Colton Matejchuk. The Minnesota power play kicks in for the first time. Face off to the left of keeping is won by the Machine. They go to work on the man advantage. Weston Brown tried to tie it up. But now Mason Thane and Maverick White will pick it out of the corner. White, near side Kelly, back to the line for Sweeney. He'll unload, deflected! Mason Thane tipped it just wide. Nearly seconds into the power play, and another penalty to Manitoba. To the bench, Asa Olstead Volk. White for Thane on the delayed penalty. Thane protecting, throwing it across. Weston Brown will touch it. And it's a 1 minute 18 second 5-on-3 for Minnesota. Weston Brown called for the trip. And Manitoba is in trouble early. Face off to the left of keeping. Won by Minnesota. Going to the line, Sweeney. Looking maybe for a deflection again. He sets it up, Kelly scores! Charles Kelly on the power play. And the Machine are in front first. What a shot from Charles Kelly. Firing it, far side glove. And the Machine are in full gear. And they will remain on the power play, now becoming a 5-on-4. Let's see if the Machine can build. Sweeney taken down. To the line, Mason Thane. Picked up by Kelly behind the net. In front, Maverick White chopping, keeping the save. Played along the wall. Woodmass playing it forward. To the left side, Maverick White skeets it in. White powering in. On the back of the net. To the line, Steger Patton. Patton shoots, blocked by Willem Heshka.
Minnesota Machine goal. Scored by number 25, Charles Kelly.
There's Steger Patton with a shot, saved by keeping. Steger Patton with the lone assist on Charles Kelly's 8th of the tournament. Here's another chance for Minnesota. It's Thane. Keeping made the save. Around the wall and to the line. 30 seconds left on the power play for Minnesota. Down low. Shot from an odd angle. Whacked on. That one goes wide. And sent out of the zone by Manitoba. 15 seconds left on the second Minnesota power play. And a collision between Steger Patton and Charles Kelly. So Minnesota strikes on the first power play, but they cannot on the second. They're back to 5-on-5. Mason Thang. Back to the line. Long range shot. Guth tipped. It's actually Hellquist with the shot. It's Guth with the deflection. Set down the ice. No icing as it ends up on goal for Ulstad Volk. Off the wall. Just enough to get out. Decker Benjamin able to push it up the left wing. Now it's fair. With 3 to go in the period for Carter Clifford. Clifford around the boards, looking to the line. They continue the battle, and it's Madison Unruh for Manitoba. Unruh around the back of the net. Throws it back behind the goal. Beckett Fair tried the chop, but Minnesota picks it back up. Braden Liu with a chance to clear, off the wall and out. 2.5 left in the opening period. 1-0 Minnesota on Charles Kelly's 8th of the tourney. Carter Clifford into the zone. Clifford across to Thompson. He scores! Colton Thompson. And Manitoba has tied it at 1. Colton Thompson with his 2nd of the tournament. And the All-Stars have us knotted at 1. Back into the zone comes Manitoba. Shot, rebound by Vygotsky, just missed. Boda returning to the line. Weltman's shot just missing. Up the right wing. Maverick White. Icing against, no, play carries on. Everyone stops skating. The phantom whistle again. Where is that coming from? Another phantom whistle. That's the 3rd time. And here's the shot.
It's a kid that's screaming.
I don't know what's happening, but it almost sounds like there's a child screaming in the stands. And it sounded like a whistle. Everybody stopped skating. Either a kid's got a whistle or sounds like one. What chaos. 90 seconds to go in the period. Here's Mason Thane into the zone. Thane weaving, shooting, glove save, keeping. Minute 20 left to go in the period. Kelly opened the scoring for Minnesota with a taste of the tournament from Steger Patton. But Colton Thompson tying it unassisted. His 2nd of the Continental Clash. Minnesota trying to control on the face-off. Teddy Becker trying to free up some room. Becker deep in the corner. Mason Thane pulls it free in front of the net. Can't spin the backhander. Thrown off the boards in the final minute of period 1. Might have enough for icing. No, they're going to wave it off. Around the wall. Brown able to play it forward. That kid Fair stripped. Picked up by Harrison Guth. 40 seconds left in the period. Here's Guth with a shot. Keeping. Had a hard time making the save. To the line, Hellquist. Thompson back behind the net for Brown. 25 left in the opening frame. Clear to the line. It's held in by Minnesota. What a brand. Lost it on the backhand. 15 seconds left in the period. Wetterbrand, 10 seconds left. Up the right wing, pushes it in. He'll wrap it behind the net. And with 3 seconds on the clock, that will do it for period 1. Minnesota opened the scoring, but Manitoba ties it just minutes later, and we're even at 1 after the first 15 here in Pierrefonds Sportsplex. We'll be back with the second period here in the gold medal game at the 2026 Continental Clash on the World Sports Broadcasting Network.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't do it for the name that's on the back. We just do it for the logo on the front. All that clout chasing, we don't run with that. We just put the whole squad on the hunt. Yeah. Yeah, we bleed for the shield, never for the self. True success ain't the trophy on the
Time for the second period here in the gold medal game at the Continental Clash. A 1-1 tie between Manitoba and Minnesota. Here comes Manitoba on an early 3-on-2. Clifford across Boguski. Save Ulstad, the rebound loose in front. Matejchuk for Beckett Fair. High slot, Boguski stopped by Ulstad Volk. Around the boards, Decker Benjamin. Up the wing. Matejchuk firing it back in. Louis Sweeney. Sweeney up the left wing. Sweeney able to see his man fall to the line. Hellquist around the boards. Kelly to the line. Unable to hold it in was Teddy Becker. Sent back into the Minnesota zone. Got to pass it quickly. Here's Maverick White. Maverick White is in. Saved by keeping. A late change by Manitoba, and the machine almost cashed in. Face off to the right of keeping. Off the draw, thrown towards the net by Minnesota. Another backhand try, that deflects wide. Behind the net, Thompson around the boards. Kept in by Maverick White on a good play. Callie trying to poke it in deep. White again, spinning wide. Thrown back to the line, or at least trying to, was Easton Silva, but he fanned on it. Maverick White re-enters the zone. White can't shoot. Charlie Boda for Manitoba. Boda waiting, taking a shot, deflecting just over the net. All on the right-hand wall. Ryan Renner up the wing. Matejchuk firing it back in. Manitoba needs a change. Charles Kelly, the goal scorer for Minnesota. And taking a tumble is Heshka, and a penalty to Minnesota. Braden Liu. And Manitoba gets its first power play of the game. And a tripping call on Braden Liu. Face off to the left. Vassal Ulstad Volk. First power play for the Manitoba All-Stars. They go to work. It's Clifford. Across. Weltman. Boguski back to Weltman. High. Circle. Score! Beckett Fair! The shot from the line deflects off of Beckett Fair. And 14 seconds into the power play, Manitoba has its first lead in the gold medal game. Beckett Fair with his 12th goal of the Continental Clash. And it comes on the power play. Hit up the right wing. Harrison Guff. Around the back of the net. Teddy Becker. Guff around the boards. Picked up by Colton Matejchuk. Jack Woolman with the lone assist. Back together to Steger Patton. Patton, with 3 minutes gone in the second, Manitoba has grabbed the lead for the first time today. Mason Thang, wheeling, looking to be dealing. He lost the handle on it. Matejchuk up the wing. Intercepted by Sweeney. Well, Matejchuk gets it back. Across for Waltman. Up the wing for the recent goal scorer, Beckett Fair. Back to center. Clifford was able to intercept it, but now here comes Mace Weddebrand. Weddebrand throws it around the back of the cage. Comes along the wall. A battle away for the puck just near the Zamboni doors. Puck comes free, and it's turned over as Zach Silva tried to fire it to the net. Matejchuk. Now loose on the side, wraparound! Zach Silva came within inches of tying the game. Again pinned along the wall. This time it's Manitoba. Louis Sweeney will fire it back in. Amazing pace to this gold medal game. Could you expect anything less? Across the line comes Madison Unruh offside. I already mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. Finland and Sweden in full force to watch this one, as well as supporters from all the other clubs that took part in the Continental Clash here today. And all throughout the week, some amazing hockey culminating to this championship game. Face-off won by Minnesota. Going around the boards. Minnesota trying to get set up. Willem Heshka. Laying it in the middle for Colton Thompson. Now Unruh. Unruh stripped on a great play by Maverick White. And now he's tripped, and a penalty coming to Manitoba. Maverick White draws the tripping call, and the Machine are heading to their third power play of the game. Tripping on Madison Unruh. Will third time be the charm for the Minnesota power play? Face off to the right of Keeping. 10:06 left in the period. Face off to the right of Keeping is won by Minnesota. Kelly throws to the line. Thrown across. Steger Patton's pass comes offside. Fired back in by Sweeney. On the wall. Going back to the line again. Moved out by Clifford. Mason Thang. For Maverick White. White lost his stick. White still trying to pick up his stick. He holds the line. White for Kelly. Fired just wide. A minute 20 left in the power play for Minnesota. Around the boards, Matejchuk out of play. Tried to clear it off the glass. Minnesota, of course, represented the United States. And we have a goaltending change as we probably expected. Here comes Tanner Brick. But what a performance from Asa Ulstad Volk. But now can his team tie it on the man advantage? Here is Hellquist. Saved. Rebound is still loose. Picked up by Beckett Fair and cleared out of the zone. And a penalty to Minnesota. Beckett Fair was knocked down behind the play. Interference on Harrison Guff. And that will even things up. So Minnesota will be 1 for 3 on the power play. Manitoba about to head to the man advantage in 55 seconds. Face-off won by the All-Stars. Thompson from the line, his shot blocked by Zach Silva. Eli Hellquist for Silva. Through the middle, Decker, Benjamin. Benjamin comes in. Benjamin around the back of the net. Benjamin cannot set up the play. His team will head to the penalty kill in 30 seconds. Carter Clifford entering the zone. Nice move by Clifford. To Weston Brown, too hot to handle. 20 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Sweeney trying to get it up the left wing. Gets it back. Sweeney enters the zone. Louis Sweeney waiting, shooting. Saved by Keeping. 4 seconds left in the 4-on-4 before Manitoba will head to its second power play of the game. They're a perfect 1-for-1. Face off to the right of Keeping. And wisely, the Minnesota defense is huddling all the way back at the blue line because this penalty kill is kicked in. Weltman fires it in deep. Manitoba on their second power play of the game. Approaching the halfway point of regulation with the game 2-1 in favor of Manitoba. Weltman for Woodmass. Woodmass looking in front, broken up by Mason Thane. He'll clear. Matejchuk back. 35 left on the power play clock. Woodmass, his pass is wide, and lots of time for Steger Patton to send it back. Matejchuk around the boards for Weltman. Weltman to the left side, Woodmass. Woodmass across the line for Beckett Fair. Backhand pass in front, Heshka can't finish it. And Kelly will send it down. Manitoba misses their power play for the first time. And back to 5-on-5 with 7 to go in the second. Fired back in by Steger Patton. Brown, up for Clifford. Clifford looking for Fair, broken up in front. Bounces off the skate of Boguski, and Brick will have to cover. .6:35 left in the second. It is still 2-1 in favor of Manitoba. Face off to the left of Brick. Won by Minnesota. It goes on goal. And it's thrown up the right wing. Maverick White's got a bounce. White has availability. Maverick White still protecting. White threw it across, picked off by Boda. Tried to go up the wing for Boguski, but the pass was not on target. Easton Silva. Kept in at the line by Sweeney. He'll get it in deep. White. Right back behind the Manitoba goal with 6 to go in the period. Maverick White backhander. Matejchuk for Boda. Sweeney able to hold it in again for the third time in the shift. He will stay out. White will go off for a change. Kelly Around the wall, and once again, Sweeney holds the zone. Displaying the puck is Easton Silva, and now it's under one of the Manitoba players. That's Jack Waltman. Puck comes free. Off the boards, Matejchuk looking for Boguski. Backhand to center. Charlie Boda fires it in to complete a Manitoba change. Here is Louis Sweeney. Across for Hellquist. Hellquist fires it in from the blue line with 5 to go in the second stanza. Colton Thompson trying to get it up the wing. Now it's picked up by Woodmass. 2-on-1 for Manitoba. Woodmass with Hatchka. Woodmass stopped by Brick. And they can't clear it. Rebound is loose. Goes to the side. Here's another chance. They score! Brody Woodmass. 3 unanswered from the All-Stars. And it's a 3-1 lead for Manitoba. It all started with the misplay in front of Tanner Brick. They couldn't clear the zone. The shot came on, and it beats Brick. And Brody Woodmass has made it a 2-goal lead. Shot from Wedderbrand misses. Trying to take a shot is Zach Silva. Picked up by the machine with 4:20 left in the period. To the side of the goal. Wedderbrand can't get it on net. Around goes Decker Benjamin. He loses possession. Boguski 3-on-2. Boguski stopped by Brick. Carter Clifford for Beckett Fair. Less than 4 to go in the second. Brody Woodmass with his 8th of the tournament from Weston Brown. Clifford tied up along the wall. Beckett Fair picks it up. Fair in front of the goal comes back to the line for Weltman. Weltman shot deflected. Score! Beckett Fair with his 2nd of the game. 4-1 Manitoba. What a deflection by Beckett Fair for his 2nd of the contest. And the Manitoba All-Stars have opened a 3-goal lead. Drawn into the zone. Falling down is the Minnesota player Easton Silva. Now he's got it. Beckett Fair with his 13th of the tournament and 2nd of the game. Marks Boguski with his 13th assist of the tournament. 4 unanswered from Manitoba. Here goes Willem Hatchka. Another odd-man rush. Hatchka across. Great save made by Brick. He needed that one. Here goes Maverick White. White into the zone. Minnesota needs a goal before the end of the period. Mason Thang taken into the boards by Clifford, and Brown will pick it up. Brown, though, can't get it out. Hashka, backhand pass, picked up by Boda. Centers for Clifford. Clifford 1-on-3. Around the boards. Beckett Fair, who is now on hat-trick watch, lost possession. Minutes play in front, and Onrau almost got it. Mason Thang trying to power his way in. Thang curls back in the corner. Thang throws it across, picked off by Matejchuk. 2 minutes left in the second. Fired down the ice by Minnesota. Icing against the machine. Now, what I'm really curious is if Manitoba makes it a 5-1 lead, does running time still come into factor for the playoffs? A 4-1 lead for Manitoba if they score again and lead by 5 in the third. I believe running time will be a factor, even though it is the championship game. Thank you to Cassie for correcting me. It would have to be 6-1 for that to happen. See, I'm glad she's paying attention. I'm not, apparently. Minnesota still in it, though, but now they trail by 3. Mason Thang through the middle. Zach Silva. Silva maintaining possession despite being pressured by Thompson. But now picked back up by Manitoba. Played back to center. Liu fires it in. Down to the final minute of second period. Here goes Boguski. Boguski's in. Boguski from the slot, deflected out of play. .54 left to go in the second. Manitoba has scored 4 unanswered and have not looked back. And this second period has been all Manitoba. Picked up by Minnesota. Minnesota trying to clear it out. And around it will go. Good pass to the middle by Ryan Renner, but just missed Maverick White. 30 seconds left to go in the period. Charles Kelly. Centering pass, nobody home. Sweeney back in his zone, throws it across. Ryan Renner for Kelly. The only goal for Minnesota here in the gold medal game. Tried to come across the line. Stiff armed off the puck. Down to 3. Maverick White can't shoot. And Manitoba will clear it down to end period 2. The Manitoba All-Stars have scored 4 unanswered with 3 coming in period 2. 4-1 All-Stars with 15 minutes to go in regulation. We'll be back with the third period here on the World Sports Broadcasting Network.
Yeah. We don't do it for the name that's on the back. We just do it for the logo on the front. All that clout chasing, we don't run with that. We just put the whole squad on the hunt. Yeah, we bleed for the shield, never for the self. True success ain't the trophy on the shelf. It's the logo on the front, not the name on the back. Yeah, we stay on attack.
Back here at the Sportsplex Pierrefonds. 4-1 Manitoba. Beckett Fair with 2 in the period, but between those goals, Brody Woodmass with his 8th of the tournament. And the Manitoba All-Stars are 15 minutes away. But the Minnesota Machine in the past have been known to spring a comeback or 2. But trailing by 3, this is by far their toughest test of this Continental Class tournament. Period 3 is underway, and we start with an icing call against Minnesota. Face off to the left of Tanner Brick. And the face-off is won by Minnesota. Can they get a quick one? Guff stops up right side. His pass went off the backside of Heshka. Around the back of the net now. Picked up by Clifford. Clifford ahead for Heshka. Heshka skates it in, along with Fair. Around the boards. Beckett Fair. tied up in the wall. Mason Thang tying up Clifford as well. Puck squirts free for Mason Thang. Thang lost it behind the net. It comes to the side. They still whack at it. And Mason Thang with a cross check after the whistle. But it looks like he will come out without a penalty. Very fortunate break for Minnesota as the official letting it play on. And now a faceoff comes to the right of Tanner Brick. The faceoff won by Manitoba. Paguski tied up. To the line, Matejchuk. He'll let it drive, went well wide. Unruh was looking for the deflection. Now a pickoff play. Paguski, he's in! Stopped by Brick. Rebound loose in front. Cleared away by the machine. Maverick White skating in with speed. White just over the crossbar. Played off the wall. At the line, Steger Patton holding it in. Fired down the ice. This will be icing against Weltman and the Manitoba All-Stars. Face off to the right of Reed Keeping, who has been fantastic. On the boards, Weston Brown for Heshka. Pass to the middle. Clifford, stiff-armed on a good play by Decker Benjamin. Across the line with numbers. Minnesota, though, lost possession. Thompson around the boards, held in by Hellquist. Hellquist shooting, goes wide. Moved out again by Manitoba. Harrison Guff. Along the right-hand wall, was looking to the line, but no one was there. Now here's Sweeney with a shot deflected by Heshka into the far corner. Around the boards to the line. Around it goes. Mason Thang behind the goal. To the line, it's Sweeney. Sweeney gets it back behind the goal for Zach Silva. 2.5 gone in the third. Swings it across to the line. Hellquist deflected by Guth just wide. That was close. Zach Silva around the back of the net. Boda around the boards again. Brown trying to throw off the glass. Heshka can't clear it out. Manitoba collapsing a little bit here defensively. They need to reset. Thompson for Boda, still not out. Charles Kelly pickpocketed, loose on the side. Clifford just able to poke it away. Boda, backhands, finally gets it out for Manitoba. A much needed clearance for the All-Stars. Now Beckett Fair on a misplay is in the O-zone. Thrown in the middle, bouncing off of a skate. Weltman chops it back in. Around the boards for Braden Liu. Off the wall. He's back to the neutral zone. Back to get it is Brody Woodmass. Now Paguski, potential 2-on-1, going to be 2-on-2. Paguski in off the glove of Brick. Maverick White tried to push it forward. Paguski gets it back. Marks Paguski. One move too many. Good defense from Braden Liu. 4 minutes gone in the third. Manitoba leading it by 3. Paguski. Around the back of the net. Paguski tried to center it for Fair, but he wasn't expecting the pass. Manitoba back to reset. Fired right back up the ice for Fair. Fair to the right, waiting for Clifford. Trying to pass to Brown. Gonna be turned over. Guth into the zone. Looking for Thang. Oh, what a save by Reed Keeping. And a penalty to Manitoba after one of the saves of the tournament. A tripping call on Madison Unruh. And a potential lifeline for the Minnesota Machine. Trailing by 3, approaching a third of the way through the final period of regulation. And they are down by 3. And the face-off starts with Manitoba controlling. Time for Heshka to clear. He will. Into the zone comes Seeger Patton. Patton weaving through, but can't shoot it. Around the boards, clear to the line, and Patton will not get there in time. A quarter of the way through the Minnesota power play, 1 for 3. They've missed on their last 2. Patton down low. Guth to the line. Shot coming from Thane, wide. And cleared by Willem Heshka. Minnesota the other way again. Louis Sweeney. Sweeney throws to the line for Thang. Thang with less than a minute to go in the man advantage. Thang around the back of the net. To the line for Hellquist. Back to Thang near side. Thang misplayed the puck. Tie up along the boards. Boda and Thang falls. But Manitoba gets it out. And now there's Woodmass with Brown. Woodmass looking for Brown. Still loose in front. And kicked away by Brick. Comes in front again. Score! Charlie Boda. Short-handed. 5-1 Manitoba.
Nice hustle. Good job. Keep going.
And the All-Stars are in full-on drive. 5 unanswered. And they are in full cruise control. And the power play for Minnesota will go quiet for the 3rd consecutive time, and they surrender a shorthanded goal. Penalty done, back to even strength, with Manitoba scoring shorthanded. Charlie Boda, his 7th of the tournament from Colton Thompson, thrown on goal, keeping the save, will hold. .8:10 left. .5-1 Manitoba. Minnesota opened the scoring, but the All-Stars have scored 5 in a row. Fair clears it out. Fair on the right wing with Boguski. Comes across the line, blew a tire. Fair trying to throw it towards the net. Official losing sight of the puck. 8 minutes left in the 3rd.
Go, keep working.
Face off to the left of Brick. The face off. Whoa, look out, won by the Machine, and the linesman took a tumble. At the line, Goff can't clear it out. Great job by Beckett Fair to pin it in. Colton Thompson tried to throw it across for Boguski, but was broken up by Hellquist. Thompson back in his zone. Boguski, 3-on-1 Manitoba. But luckily, back to break up the 3-on-1 was Guth. Halfway through the 3rd. Up the wing, Weston Brown. He'll float towards the net. Brick kicks it away. On it is Clifford. Mason Thang. All by his lonesome. Thang tried to curl and toe drag, but it redirects wide with 7 to go in the third. Matejchuk behind the net, collected by Thompson, who throws it around for Unrau, who just manages to clear the zone. Weltman up the middle, picked up by Woodmass. Now it's Unrau in front of his bench. Liu around the end wall. Kelly can't chip it out. Unrau stopped by Brick, and it'll hold on. 6:19 left on the clock. Minnesota down by 4. And a timeout has been called by Minnesota. We'll step out for a timeout ourselves. The All-Stars are 6:19 away from a Continental Clash World title. We'll be back to finish this one off.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't do it for the name that's on the back. We just do it for the logo on the front. All that clout chasing, we don't run with that. We just put the whole squad on the hunt. Yeah, we bleed for the shield, never for the self. True success ain't the trophy on the shelf. It's the logo on the front, not the name on the back. Yeah, we stay.
Back here in Montreal, and Canada's own Manitoba is up 5-1. Minnesota had the first goal from Charles Kelly, but since then, Manitoba has taken it over with 5 unanswered, one of which coming in this third period. And a game shorthanded nonetheless. Maverick White. White's shot redirected by Matejchuk, backhand side of the goal. Couldn't get it on net. Thrown off the boards by Weltman to the line, but held in. Down to 6. Centered out in front, chopped away by Matejchuk. Unrau couldn't clear it out, held in by the All-Stars. Charles Kelly trying to center it, picked off by Manitoba and cleared. Not nearly enough for icing. Liu fires it off the boards. Patton around the wall. Goff for Patton. Patton in the middle, Thang. Tried to chip it up. Turned it over. Minnesota plays it up the left-hand wall. Charles Kelly throwing it across for Thang. Mason Thang, one move too many, and he goes down hard. Boda the other way. Boda with 5 left in regulation. 5-1 Manitoba. Clifford for Brown. Now up Boda. In the middle for Boguski. Boguski gets around his man. Boguski backhander blocked. Getting it back, spinning towards the net. Sticked away by Tanner Brick. Along the wall, Clifford picks it off. Clifford in the corner. Tried to get it in front. Right to the line, no one there to hold it in. Matejchuk will fire it in. Sent up the wing. Wellman lost the handle. Harrison Guth in the corner around the end wall. 4 minutes left in the period. Here's Sweeney with a shot on goal. Keeping makes the save. Face off to the left of Keeping. Won by Manitoba. Around the boards. Matejchuk able to play it off the wall. And play it back to the neutral zone. Liu throws it across. Renner up the wing. Matejchuk back to get it. Threw it across for Weltman. Beckett Fair. Carries up the right wing, firing it in, floating towards Brick. Liu. Off the boards, finds Kelly. Opposite wing, Wedderbrand. Thompson nullifies that chance. And now up for Heshka. Heshka into his zone. Heshka from the circle, his shot redirecting wide. Beckett Fair. Back on it. Tried to throw it back in front, but couldn't. Carter Clifford gets it down low with 3 minutes left. Turnover behind the net. Heshka to the line for Thompson. He will try to unload, but it's more of a chip shot than a slap shot. Now he'll take a drive with a wrister. Knocked down by a high stick. And play will be halted with 2:43 left in period 3. Well, want to take a moment to thank everyone for tuning in all tournament long, whether you've tuned in here on Rink 3 with Cass and Lucas or on Rink 1 with myself and Anthony. It has been an amazing week here in Montreal, getting to cover some of the best hockey that the world can provide. It truly has been a beautiful tournament in the beautiful province. And we have 2:35 left in this fantastic Continental Clash. Louis Sweeney around the boards. Play to the line, Mason Fang. Picked up by White. Nice cross-ice pass. Just out of the reach of Patton. Now he's driving on the backhand. Safe keeping the rebound. It's covered up. .209 left in the third period. 5-1 Manitoba. Here comes Beckett Fair, 2-on-1 with Boda. Fair scores! The hat trick for Beckett Fair! And he will put the exclamation point and make it 6-1 All-Stars. Well, even though Manitoba finished as the 4th seed, a lot of people had the All-Stars slotted for the championship game, but I don't think anyone had them blowing out Minnesota the way they are. And it is going to be running time. Weston Brown with another assist. And with it being a 5-goal lead, the clock will run. 90 seconds left. Chipped up the left wing for Guff. Along the wall, played back out. Unable to play it. Heshka on a turnover. Heshka shooting, missing the net wide. 1 minute left. Kelly gets it back to center. Chopped up the left wing. Liu back to get it. Liu along the wall, cut off by Clifford. Clifford taking into the wall. Wedderbrand up the wing, can't make the play. Sweeney gains the red line, fires it in, down to 30. Along the boards, Kelly fires wide of the net. 20 seconds. Played up the middle. Sweeney fires it back in. 10 seconds left. Hey now, you're an all-star. Drink it in, Manitoba. The Manitoba All-Stars are 2026 Continental Clash World Champions. The underdog has pulled it off. The Manitoba All-Stars are world champions. And the world title is coming to Canada. What a contest. Minnesota got off to the start they wanted, but 6 unanswered from Manitoba. And that is that on this fantastic tournament. And there at center you see it, the golden skates and the championship rings and banner for the winning club, the Manitoba All-Stars. What a fantastic tournament, and what a tremendous finish. And the Manitoba parents are all smiles, making the long trip from the land of the prairies, as the Minnesota Machine will be awarded their silver medals. What a tournament for Asa Olstad Volk. He was fantastic. Braden Liu. Strong tournament on the back end as well. Seeger Patton. What a solid force he was in the latter half of the tournament. And how about this? Mason Thane with one of the best performances all tournament long. Could very well be in the running for Clash MVP. Mace Wetterbrand played a solid option as well. Charles Kelly with the lone goal of the game. He did everything he could. Zach Silva. Solid and gritty. A great option for Minnesota. Eli Hellquist, one of the top defenders in the tournament. He was solid on the blue line all tournament long for the Machine. Decker Benjamin. He had a good showing as well. Harrison Guff, another fantastic offensive threat. Teddy Becker. He had a fantastic tournament as well. Tanner Brick, one of the top goaltenders in the tournament. Had a chance to talk to him yesterday during the thunderstorm. Such a great kid and a bright future ahead. Easton Silva, the other Silva brother. He had a really good tournament as well. Ryan Renner, another solid blue liner for the Minnesota Machine. Maverick White, strong forward. He had a good showing here as well with his family in attendance. And last but not least, Louis Sweeney. What a special young man he is. And congratulations to the Minnesota Machine. It's not the color they wanted, but a silver medal nonetheless. A fantastic, dominant tournament all week long. And the goaltenders, how fitting. Tanner Brick and Asa Olstedvolk will collect their silver medals and their silver medal banner. But now comes the moment we have all waited for. It's time to award the gold medals to the 2026 Continental Class champion Manitoba All-Stars, who, again, keep in mind, lost their first game of the tournament. Since then, they went undefeated. And the Machine will gather for one last picture to conclude this tremendous tournament. Had a chance to meet with some of the family of the Minnesota Machine, amazing people from the state of hockey, and cannot wish them more than the best. And hopefully they get home safely. An amazing group of young men, an amazing group of parents. The Minnesota Machine, your silver medalists. And how about this? The Manitoba All-Stars coming in for a group picture. This is what it's all about. True sportsmanship right down to it. Love this. Absolutely love this. Manitoba have been one of the forefronts for sportsmanship all tournament, and you're seeing it right here on display. A fantastic sign of showmanship and sportsmanship from the Manitoba All-Stars. And the great thing about tournaments like this is developing new friendships with people from all across the world. From the United States to Sweden to Finland, friends have been made, memories that will last a lifetime. Congratulations again to the Minnesota Machine on a fantastic showing. And now it's time to hand out the hardware to the gold medalists, Manitoba All-Stars, the 2026 World Champions. And they will get one-of-a-kind championship rings to commemorate this outstanding achievement. And look at the hardware for the young men from Manitoba. Jack Waltman and Colton Matejchuk, two dominant threats on the back line. Charlie Boda with a strong showing, not just in this game, but all tournament. Carter Clifford, he had a solid game here today. Reed Keeping, the man of the hour. Him and Hayden Penner were dynamite all weekend and all week. And Keeping is going to keep this memory in his memory bank for a long, long time. Colton Thompson, another blue line threat. Beckett Fair, the hat trick man. How fitting, wearing the number of the former Winnipeg Jet, Patrick Launay, a sharpshooter in his own regard. And speaking of sharpshooters, Mark Spagusky finishing on top of the scoring charts. Weston Brown with the long flowing hair. And add some hardware. Madison Unrau, another solid forward. Brody Woodnass, what a player. And what a competitor. Willem Heshka, what a star on the All-Stars. Gets his championship ring. And last but not least, Hayden Penner, regarded as one of the top goaltenders in the tournament. And now, Beckett Fair is your tournament MVP. No better choice. And now it is time to hand it out. There it is, the coveted golden skate, along with the championship banner that will hang for the rafters of the home of the Manitoba All-Stars. And outfitting the goaltending, Hayden Penner, and rekeeping, bringing the banner in. And now it is time to bestow the golden skate to the world champions, the Manitoba All-Stars. An incredible tournament, an incredible result, and this has been an amazing week of hockey. And once again, huge thank you to everyone for their support, and a thanks to our amazing crew, Cassie, Lucas, Anthony, and all the broadcasters that have also called remotely. Thank you to all of them for their work, and shout out to Glenn, our head honcho back at World Sports Broadcasting Network headquarters. What a fantastic week it has been here in Laval Province. And with that, that officially will complete our coverage of this amazing tournament. On behalf of our World Sports Broadcasting Network crew, my name is Thomas Mercier. Thank you so much for spending all week with us. The Manitoba All-Stars, your 2026 Continental Clash World Champions. Until next time, we'll see you in Toronto for the Quench Hydration World Invite here on the World Sports Broadcasting Network. Good night from Montreal.